Hey, Vanessa, thank you so much for joining me today. I am happy to have you here with me.
Nice to see you. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been a while.
I know. For those of you that don't know, Vanessa and I and her beautiful, loving husband were in Dallas at the Lifewave convention in October of this year, 2024, and had a great time for a couple of days and nights visiting with folks that are involved with Lifewave. So, Vanessa, I would love for you just to briefly tell everybody a little bit about you and your certified health program and your connection with Lifewave, if you would just take a couple minutes.
Yeah. So, gosh, my health journey started many years ago, but I'll back it up to 4 years ago. As easy as that. Let's see. To make a very long story short, I basically was in a wheelchair. My body had completely given up, failed. I actually failed my body and just wasn't well and wasn't doing good. So I did not want to accept the diagnosis that I was given, nor did I want to do the treatments that would come with that diagnosis. And it was with RA. I didn't want to take a pill, and I knew that I could do something with my body that would lead me to be able to get out of the wheelchair and not have to be on pills for the rest of my life. So I did that. Lots of different things. People ask me all the time, can you write the protocol down? And I probably should just end up writing a book of my whole story of craziness. But anyhow, went down that healing journey, which led me to become a certified traditional naturopath because I wanted to help other people do basically what I did and just do it. There's so much information out there and it's hard to figure out what is the best. And so I wanted to help kind of like narrow it down for people. So I help others now with their health journey. And then in that time, it actually happened right at the beginning of my naturopathic journey was when Lifewave came on. So I don't think that was coincidental. My wonderful upline, she had been talking to my husband, and I had already knew about Lifewave, and they were on a call together, and my husband comes and he's like, Vanessa, you have to hear about this. And I come in and I'm like, oh, I already know about this. He's like, of course you do. So we ended up getting right in and super excited because my husband at the time also was suffering from heart palpitations. And it was so bad that we had really thought about actually doing a heart ablation. Anyways, that's a whole other journey. And we ended up finding the patches. He is now heart palpitation free. And it has been amazing. And my story with the patches and my whole healing, because even though I was out of the wheelchair and doing all this stuff, I had other things come up. And the insides of my body, my organs are healing so well from the trauma that it has gone through over the last, decade or so, but the last 4 years. And I never really realized that until I got my blood drawn, and I was like, wow, there really is healing going on, even though, some days I'm still struggling with a few things, and my numbers came back and they're just so amazing. So I know that. And they weren't 4 years ago. They were basically like, everything's shutting down. You're going to be done. you only got a few months to live. And I was like, oh my gosh. So when I did that blood and saw all my panels, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like everything is functioning. And, I do everything well, but those patches, I know since they did that for my husband's heart, I know that what they're doing for me has been amazing as well. So.
Thank you.
It's my short and sweet side of the story.
I know we can go for hours, and that's why I want to kind of keep this call short. I appreciate you so much. For those of you who don't know me or haven't been familiar with me, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's in 2006 by my gynecologist. I told her, seems like I have this extra weight and I'm kind of tired in the afternoon. And so she had done some blood work and came back and she called me. I remember the day, and she's like, you have Hashimoto's and you have a low thyroid, hypothyroidism. And I'm like, what's that? That sounds, like a big deal. She's like, well, you're going to have to be on medicine. And I'm like, for a long time. She's like, for the rest of your life. And I'm like, oh no.
No.
And I had a lot of people around me at that time that were into natural ways of healing the body. And I remember coming out of yoga one day and my friend Wendy's like, I have a naturopath up in San Francisco. So I flew up to San Francisco and I got in touch with my other girlfriend, Charlene. She had a 5th generation acupuncturist in Corona del Mar, California. And so I was going to him and drinking all this concoction. And at that same time, I ended up leaving my husband and was going through a divorce. So you have all this stuff, and I have 4 and 5-year-old little kids at home. And so I was trying to do all these different things, and it's a lot of work. And so I'm like, just give me the little pill, just give me that one little pill. And to treat Hashimoto's, so prescription drug. And so I did that for probably about 1.5 years or so. And then I decided I wanted to go back into trying the natural route. And in 2010, 2011, I did a 19-day water fast. I just really stopped paying attention to my doctor, quite honestly. And I am med-free from that. Like, I haven't been on anything for that. I have been on estrogen and progesterone for like the last 4 years. And I've since been off that since I did a medicine ceremony a few weeks or a couple months ago. I'm like, I'm not going to go back on that. And so now my light therapy person has me doing some other stuff that I'll talk about another time. But I've been interested in health for a very long time. And I guess that's why I say since 2006, I've lost both of my parents. My mom had colon cancer. She had a stroke. My dad died of a stroke. He had a couple. My brother's had a stroke. My sister has RA, like you do, Vanessa. You've met her. And so my brother was in a coma for a month. I've had a lot of things happen with a family of 7 in my household. I've always wanted everybody to be healthy and happy and then wealthy on the other side of it. I just feel that I was so excited when Mike got me introduced to Lifewave February of this year, 2024. So I've been on them since March by the time it got to me and everything. And I'm all, I got my patches on and love them. I just, for me, I get so many different things across my desk that when I've known Mike for a few years now. He's spoken at probably 3 of my events in the last 4 years that I've had across the United States. And so I know him. And when he was telling me about it, I was just giving him my credit card over the phone. I was driving him in the middle of Tennessee. I'm like, I want to get on these too. So that's a little bit of background for me, you guys. I can't say enough about them. And Vanessa, do you want to share a little bit about like maybe what patches you're on? Again, I want to keep this short today, but just if you can just give like the lowdown on what top ones you like. I can share the top ones I'm liking today. And I love their skincare products too. I used to formulate my own skincare products. I was in 7 Whole Foods in Orange County, California. So I know a lot about that as well. But will you share a little bit about the Lifewave patches that you're interested in and why you like those?
Yes. Well, I just first want to say how sad. Well, I guess not sad, but like, Mike, why did you hide Laurie from me? And I think you even said that too. Why did you hide Vanessa? Like, he went and flew out and saw you all the time and never told me about you.
I know, like literally. I mean, I think he came to Texas to one of my events 3 years ago. Like literally, I think it's been almost 3 years ago. And he would talk about my wife at home. And mind you, I was not living in California. And then when he came over and brought you, I'm like, we're just like, I mean, because you completely are in and out of the health arena on a 24-hour basis. I'm in and out of business and health. So it's just like, I'm so happy that I met Mike originally and now have you. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I had heard your name. I hear so many people's names because he goes and travels and, it's that kind of thing. And when he told me, oh, I got Laurie signed up, I'm like, from? Anyways, it was just kind of funny. I'm like, we need to connect. So
I
I'm glad we did. It was
know. Me
awesome.
too.
So my favorites, I actually have to tell you, when I first started the patches a couple of years ago, I was not consistent, which is the number one, like, no. If you're not consistent, like, nothing works if you're not consistent, right?
Yep.
Like, just, you have to be consistent no matter what. If you want to see change and progress. Then I became a little bit more consistent, but my body was like not ready. And it went through a lot because it's so much energy in those tiny little patches and your body is like doing all this stuff. I just wasn't prepared. So I wore them and then I actually stopped for a little bit because I was like, what in the world is happening? Which is actually kind of cool. I think about it now because so many people will come to me and say, Vanessa, like, I don't feel like great or this happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I experienced that. So I kind of like my whole journey, right? Like I get to be like, oh, I already did that and I already know. And so I could give them that answer. But anyhow, so after I was able to do a few things on my own and I got my body like prepared, I said, all right, I'm, putting these on. So the X39 was 100% like my top. That is the one that does your GHK-Cu copper peptide, which is, the stem cell production. Who doesn't need that? Especially as we age, we just don't have them anymore. And they start being very lazy. I won't use the D word. So that is my top 100%. And my next one is the Eon. The Eon is amazing because it's for inflammation, which I have a ton of. And then glutathione I love that. I wear it at nighttime just because I just damaged my liver with so much Tylenol and ibuprofen for so many years that I have very little glutathione production. So my liver needs as much help as possible. And so when I'm resting, I put that one on. But I wear right now, I think I have like 5 different ones on, and that's kind of like my daily routine. But 100% how I first started with those, because I knew that those are like the most important. And it's like, and then my body could be like, okay, like what's next? And
and as you're sitting here talking about the patches, I'm realizing we're talking about Lifewave, but people who are jumping on this, maybe they know us, but they have no idea what we're talking about. Will you share a little snippet about what the patches are, like what Lifewave is? And
yeah. That's
like
great.
we both skimmed over that when we started talking about our new friendship.
Right. Well, and we had talked about it before, so I felt like this was like just like a continuation. Like,
I know, and we've had a few videos, and now I'm putting this one out officially for more people to find.
So Lifewave so David Schmidt founded it in 2003. 2004 is like the official. So we just had our 20-year anniversary. It's phototherapy, right? So it's frequency, it's energy. And what happens is there you go. I'm like, I have patches. They're all right here. They're tiny little patches, less than a quarter size.
Yep.
It's about a quarter size.
The size of a quarter, yeah.
Yeah, the size of a quarter sticker, right? Yep. Little Band-Aid. They're round and they are formulated and they have crystals and amino acids. David has a patent. He is an absolute genius, which you got to see at convention. That was crazy. His brain works at a new level. So what happens is nothing's transdermal. So what happens when we put it on?
Use simple words.
Transdermal is, let's see, it doesn't go through your skin. So like if you put a cream on, it's going into your skin. This won't. It's our body being like, hey, I have heat. And the patch is like, I love heat and I'm going to turn it on. And then it goes into our body. When I say go into, it's not actually like going
a little bit, right?
Like, kind of like what happens when we go in the sun, right?
Yep.
We go in the sun. The sun doesn't give us vitamin D, but it activates our own production of vitamin D. So now we have this amazing production of vitamin D, which is what those patches do. So each patch is different. The X39 is the, GHK-Cu, so basically stem cell production, and then glutathione. And
that's the very first one that they started with was the X39, right?
That is not the first one they started with.
Okay.
No, the very first one they started with, well, it was actually, he created it for the Navy SEALs in 2003, was the energy enhancer, because they needed something that was not going to be affecting them, right? They needed to not be like doing other kind of drugs to stay awake for so long, because they stay awake for training and stuff like that. So he was working with the government to create something. So energy is actually the very first one. And X39 actually just got launched in 2019. So that's our like newest one. That's like the baby.
We love that one. And I know from listening to people talk at the Lifewave convention and just some of the videos that basically what happens with these patches is for every decade you are, it takes about a month for things to start activating in your body. So let's say you're 50 years old, about 5 months in, you may or may not to start to see a difference in your overall health. Some people notice it within 20 minutes. Some people notice it, halfway through. It just really depends, because every body, I tell everybody, every body is different. So you don't know, but that's kind of what they gauge it. Is that about what you felt with what you learned about it, Vanessa? You've been on them now, on and off.
Yeah, I think I definitely was that more like longer period. It took me a couple months. I mean, I felt it right away, obviously, a couple of years ago. So I knew, but I just wasn't I wasn't prepared for that kind of stuff.
You also have been dealing with mold, and you've had some other underlying health issues that, me, you still have a lot going on with that. For me, I feel like my health has always been pretty steady Eddie. And so like when I jumped in, I noticed within 3 months, I think I was calling like March, April, May, June. Yeah, it was 3 months with me.
I mean, Mike, he was on it for less than a month. And that's when I was like, wait a second, because we every night talk about his heart palpitations and how he had through the day.
That's a serious thing.
Serious. And it was like 2 weeks maybe or so, because he was like, I don't remember when I put them on. I'm like, okay, today marks the date. And it was like a month later.
I have mine on my board.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, you literally still haven't had one. And it's been, let's see, June of last year when he was really consistent, because he had it. He was all done. So
well,
I mean, that's
and with me, I know. And it's like with me, I noticed when I say 3 months for me, you guys, and I started mine March 11th of 2024. When I started mine, I sleep good. I just wanted to take them to see what it did. If it was going to reduce, and help build up my stem cells so that I was reducing the age of my liver and my heart and all the other organs that are within me, right? Who doesn't want to reverse age? And that's basically what these are doing.
Absolutely.
This is not medical health advice. You have to try it for yourself. Everybody is different. But for me, what I noticed, and I've shared this with a lot of people, is I was traveling an enormous amount the first quarter of this year, and was not at home. And I go to the gym about 3 times a week. I'm in my 50s. And what I noticed was normally I could go away for a week and be on vacation, and my body would get kind of soft, just from eating out all the time and not working out. And I literally had been on the road for a couple of months. I worked out twice in that amount of time. I was active, but not working out per se, right? And I got home to Southern California before I was going to Bali in June. And I'm like, I have tone in my arms. My abs, like I am not kidding you. I could not believe it. And it was the X49.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go on one. And then I started hearing about the patches. So now I'm on the X39, the X49, and the Alavita.
Yes.
So, and then I do take the one for inflammation when I'm flying, because my knee always bothers me. So I don't want to go like crazy with some of these. So I know that some people are on 5 patches, but I'm on 3 that I take religiously. And you wear them for 12 hours and then you take them off for 12 hours, toss
Yep.
that, and put a new patch on. So for me, I was like, became a total believer in March. And I know my friend Deb, she owns a gym. She's older than me. She was able to do box jumps after, and she's also kept off, like, I think she said 10 pounds. I think I'm down 5 or 6 pounds from the patches. And again, my diet and everything, I can really tell for me because my diet and everything, except for when I'm traveling, is always about the same. And this was the only thing I had changed in my life were these
Yep.
patches
Yep.
in the first half of this year. And I'm continuously like, I'm not trying to lose weight. It just like, and I'm eating and the weight tends to fall off. And what is surprising to me is the definition in my arms and my abs. And for all of the people out there who want that, I think it's just amazing. And that's why I went to the conference. I took my time. I flew to Dallas in October and met up with you guys and was so happy that I did that. But I can't say enough about them. I mean, those are my top 3. I'm now using their skincare, their products. I'm a moisturizer at night, a moisturizer in the morning. I'm using their eye cream. And again, you guys, I formulated my own natural line of skincare products for about 5 or 6 years that I had in 2010 till 2016 or something, somewhere in around there. But I just, Vanessa, with just kind of closing up today, what would you want to say to everybody who's listening to this today?
Well, kind of like me watching it for so long, it's like, just don't wait. I mean, what's starting now? Just even asking questions, give yourself 90 days to check out something. I mean, we all do the new thing, but this isn't going to be the new thing. This is the thing.
That's the thing. I don't know that there's anything out there.
No, there isn't. That's what's so awesome. It's not like a Me Too company. You're not like going to be like, oh, I'll just like go somewhere else and go find it. I mean, you're just not. It's patented. David is, and I don't know if I'd want to. I mean, after listening to David and knowing like what he does, even like learning about the stuff that's coming out, first quarter of next year. Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing of the things of how, and he genuinely just like wants to help people in their health. And it has changed thousands of people's lives. And I'm like, especially right now, we have so much coming at us. And it's like for us to be able to just do something that's easy, because a lot of us have so many things going on, to throw on a sticker basically and have your life change is pretty awesome,
Well, and I know that they were talking about millions of people are on the patches, and we're talking, you guys here, I'm talking about, skin and being toned, but there's people who have had cancer. There's people who have debilitating aches and pains. People aren't sleeping. I know, who was I just talking to the other day, and my manicurist, she has been my manicurist since 97. And she's older than me too, but we share everything because she's in the know with people, because she talks to all us women coming in and everybody's got something. She started the sleep patch. And she said that she is sleeping so good. So again, there's so many different patches. And I'm going to keep bringing information to you guys because I love the patches. I'm using them. I feel like they've been talking about these med beds coming out in the future. And I almost feel like we have that with this, because it is reducing the age of your body and your organs. And lastly, I know that there's Olympic athletes that are on these products.
There is. And there's, I'll call them celebrities that are on them. And there's a lot of high profile people that are on them. Some just don't talk about it. Who knows why, or some do just kind of go low profile. But there's definitely health people out there.
Well, there are.
There's about somebody right now that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's using them. And I just want to get like full confirmation, but I'm pretty sure it's full confirmation of this man that's using them. And it's pretty awesome because
I
When you
just
have somebody like that that has kind of a bigger, I don't want to
audience.
say, yeah, it's like that means something when they're willing to do it and it's working for them.
Well, and that's why I mean, I have a small voice, but I want to get out there and share my
Yeah.
favorite things. And this is definitely by far, especially for people. My thing again is I want people to be healthy and happy. I don't want people to have aches or pains. I want their body to be working in its optimum form so that
Yeah.
they can live their best life. And that's what it's all about for me. So,
Yes, absolutely. I
well,
agree.
Vanessa, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice seeing you again. It's been a little bit.
I know. Well, we'll be seeing each other, I'm sure, very soon. So you guys, I'm going to let you guys go. And thanks so much. And I'll keep you posted. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.